Auburn, and speaking of Auburn, Auburn's greatest representative, Charles Barkley, the statue outside, and here he is inside, live and in color. My gosh, what a game, what an atmosphere.
Well, it's a great atmosphere, but I want to thank Auburn for making my statue skinny. That was the most important thing. Shout out to Jan Smith and Sonny Smith. That was the most important thing, make my statue skinny.
So that's not the round mound to rebound, that's half round.
Well, I was around mound here at Auburn, but when we made the statue, it was like a few years ago, I was like, just don't make my statue fat. That's the most important thing.
You look great. So does the Auburn team tonight. You follow them really closely. They've made a living doing that, going inside all night.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Alabama got all these little skinny dudes out there. You know, Coach Nate does a fantastic job. But when I was looking at the game early, I said, man, Broome should have a big night tonight because Alabama, they obviously their guards are terrific, but they got no size inside.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I said, man, this would be like for me. If I saw all these little skinny dudes, I'd be like,
triple double.
Like Shaq always said, this would be like barbecue chicken. But their guards are terrific, though. They shoot the ball well, but they got no size inside. So the only way they can actually win if they have a hot shooting night, to be honest with you.
Chuck, we tried to paint the picture of what it's like to play in this game, but I want to hear from you. What is it like in this Alabama-Auburn rivalry?
Well, it's different for me because I was born in Alabama. Unless you were born in Alabama, you really can't get an appreciation of the animosity and the hatred for the two schools. Alabama's a great school. I got nothing but admiration. They just lost the greatest college football coach ever in Coach Saban. Much love and respect for him. But if you're born in Alabama, you have to pick a team. And whether we play them in softball, volleyball, whatever, we want to beat them. Because, you know, we are, and listen, and I know I'm going to get in trouble saying this, we're like the stepchild. And we're never going to beat Alabama, but we want to beat them every time we play them. We're kind of like Oklahoma State, UCLA, Kansas State. I always tell people, there's nothing wrong with it. Auburn's a great school.
Oh boy, Nelson came right down on Leor Berman's legs.
They didn't call a charge? Was he inside the circle?
Nope, none of that.
Like I say, you know, one of my really good mentors is Masai Ujiri. He always talks about, listen, know who you are. In Auburn, we have a great school. We have a tremendous fan base. But Alabama is arguably the greatest college football program ever. And they just lost a GOAT in Nick Saban. But I love our school, and we just want to beat them in every sport, plain and simple.
All right, so Nick Saban's coming to work for ESPN. He's going to do game day, going to do some college football draft, NFL draft stuff, I should say. If you were going to give the GOAT some advice about TV, what would it be?
Well, the hardest thing about being on television is two things. Number one, as a coach, which he's the greatest coach ever, he's going to criticize coaching. For me as a player, I have to criticize players. That's the hardest thing you got to realize, because when I'm sitting in my hotel room during the day, I never say, let me talk bad about the players. But when they do stupid stuff, I got to talk bad about them, or they play bad. And so coach is going to he's got to talk bad, like that was not a good decision as a coach. So that's the hardest part. Well, Coach, like I say, there's two different avenues. When you're a coach, you got to be honest, because the number one thing, you're not worried about the coaches or the players. You're talking to the people at home.
Yeah.
And you got to do your job. Like I say, I never want to talk bad about my players. But when they play bad or make stupid decisions, I got to be honest, because I'm talking to the people at home, and I'm not talking to their family and friends. So Coach Saban, he got to be like, you know what, I don't think that was a good coaching decision.
Yeah.
Like, they probably not going to give him the opportunity. Like, he's going to say, you know, first of all, he probably got to criticize players at a certain point. But when coaches make bad decisions, you have to criticize them.
Yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example. You know, I got a man crush on Dan Campbell.
Okay.
I love Dan Campbell. I want to meet Dan Campbell. But if you go back and look at that NFC Championship game, he had to kick that first field goal because that would have gave them a 3-possession lead. So that was the first mistake he made. The second mistake he made was when the house was on fire, when San Francisco had scored and got the lead, You got to kick that second field goal. And, you know, people say, well, that's the way we did things during the regular season. The regular season and playoffs are not the same.
Yep.
So that's probably going to be the toughest thing for Coach Saban, criticizing coaches. But you know what? Coaches make mistakes. That doesn't make it wrong. They make mistakes.
They're human. Followed by Nelson there.
Chuck, let me ask you this. The SEC, in my estimation, is as good of a league as we have in college basketball right now because of the depth of the league, the net rankings, all those things. What's your view of this league right now?
I'm not sure. Is it the Big 10 or the Big 12?
Big 12.
They're right there together.
We're not as good as the Big 12.
You don't think so?
Yeah, because I've been watching, like I haven't watched the NBA game except when I'm at work.
Yep.
So, Jamie, the way I do my schedule is, like the first 3 months, October, November, December, I only watch NBA. I'm watching about 3 college games a day getting ready for March Madness.
Yep.
The Big 12 is the best conference. We're probably the second best conference. But the thing that's going to be very interesting about March Madness, there's no great teams. There's not even close to a great team. Auburn, to me, we're right in the top 8 to 10, 12, somewhere in that range.
Yep, could win it.
Yes, but there's no great teams in college basketball this year. And this is going to be one of the most fun, exciting tournaments because, you know, Jamie, you know this. When it's a one-and-done thing, if you get good coaching, whatever, you can win. So I'm really excited for March Madness, but there's no great team. UConn and Purdue, they're probably the favorites, but there's no great team. Most of these kids are young black kids. Going to college for free is a really big deal, and we can never lose sight of that.
Well done.
Thanks, brother.
Hey, Carl, you never come to Auburn. Jamie, thank you for coming back.
Yeah.
Hey, he's like Norm on Cheers. He's always here.
Everybody knows his name.
Yeah.
Jamie, Jimmy, all of it. We know his name. Let's
go get some gooey fries at Baumhauer's.
Did I call him the wrong name?
Jamie. It's okay.
Jimmy, I've been called worse. By better.